I think will hit home with you guys. I think some of the creature comforts we built into them will really speak volumes to what you or your clients are going to do with them at home in your own personal kitchens. Before we get into all the nitty gritty, again, I want to reiterate, use your raise a hand or your raise hand button, ask a question, interrupt me. It's okay. I've been interrupted, most of my life in the kitchen. I kind of enjoy it. It makes things go nice and smoothly. So if you have an off the wall question or a very straightforward one, let me have that. Again, I'm in downtown Chicago today. I'm sitting in our showroom where we have both a 30-inch minimalist and a 30-inch statement collection installed flush here. You can see LCD screens kind of matching on the top, but then when you start scrolling down from there, the appearance stays the same. When we get inside of these units, and these are both double units, but when we get inside of these units, functionality is going to be exactly the same. So when we start talking about the real differences between minimalist and statement collections, it's just the appearance. We kept all of the other features very rich and very feature forward on both of them. What we offer in statement and minimalist collections are, of course, 30-inch in both sizes, as well as double ovens. On both sizes. With our double ovens, we do only have one control panel up at the top that controls both ovens, so we keep that kind of minimal idea even true with that. We do offer both of these ovens in 30-inch styles, but also in a single cavity, so just from here up, single oven format. Now, something a little different, we also came out and offered both minimalist and statement collections in single and double ovens in a 27-inch size as well. So we can do 27-inch, 30, or single or double, minimalist or statement. So it's very easy for you guys to navigate when we're looking at how to order these and put these together. One thing that will be different on ordering either the statement or the minimalist, and I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I'll go down just a hair. I've got two installations here. This one here is a standard installation where it sits flush with your cabinetry or wall up here, but where it vents actually has a little bit of a cutout. You can see that diagram really easily online. I'll also move the computer around later to see if I can show you. This is the standard installation, same exact cutout if you want to go fully flush though. All you do is add an accessory, and there's a little trim piece down here. It's almost like a grill grate, and it just fits right into that standard installation and makes the whole thing kind of look, actually not look, but actually be flush. So that's really the only difference. If you forget to order that little flush kit, I'm told that's okay because you can put it on after the fact. There's no extra cutout space or anything like that. So that's just a little bit about the sizes, guys. Now, on the finishes on the outside, I also want to start there and how the minimalist and statement differ. Obviously, we've got the minimalist here with broad black glass across the whole thing. And that black glass is actually helps make the control panel disappear because as you can see on that minimalist collection with that black glass at the top, our control panel goes a little dark. And then when you touch it, it lights up more. So you get just a true minimalist feel. Where on the statement collection, you still have a little bit more bulkiness to it. Bulky is probably the wrong sales word for that. But it does have more of that kind of chefy feel, where there's more to grab onto that it feels like a cooking product. And we also simulate cooking products with some more stainless, right? So this is for that stainless lover, nice trim around that black glass, still really clean 7-inch LCD on this one as well, really clean with the black around that. So the appearance of that is just a little bit different. And then the other main difference on the aesthetic, and you could kind of see it, and guys, I'm gonna unplug my computer here and take you on a little bit of a trip. So if you get seasick, close your eyes. You can see on the minimalist here, very thin extrusion on a complete piece of aluminum here. When we say aluminum extrusion, metal extrusion, we do that and we say that not because it sounds fancy and not because it's cheaper, because it's the best way to do this to actually give you a minimalist feel. Because if we can extrude this handle out of basically a single piece of aluminum, we have less seams, virtually no seams. So when you feel these corners here, they're not welded, they're one piece of metal. So we love the fact that we're using that feature. Now on both ovens, no matter the handle, you get that nice soft close. So no matter the door, whichever one we're working with, we get soft close on both of those. And I love that because I live in a house, and I won't name names here, but I live in a house with a door slammer. And whether it's a truck door, an oven door, a shower door, it's gonna be shut firmly. So I love soft close on everything in life right now. Now, whoops, I got a little bit ahead of myself. Over here on the statement, you can see that rounded handle. And this is that brass insert right here. When we put these brass type inserts in here, it's not like a painted coating or anything like that. It's a solid material. It's solid, it's not gonna flake, it's not gonna turn color over time. It's meant to be an accent, so it's always part of your kitchen. But you can see, we actually do end-to-end handles on our statement and our minimalist. So you can see that handle comes all the way out to the edge on both sides. So at the end of the day, when we design, it gives us, again, a really clean look. So those handles, a little bit of brass on one, that extruded aluminum on the other, that's kind of what makes each of these products special. And neither one, again, performance-wise is better than the other. So it's great that on the outside of both of our statement and minimalist collections, we have features that talk and are important to the customer. It's not, you get this one if you want to feel special, you get this one if it just kind of fits your design style. No, special features on both of these ovens. Now, when we are looking at double ovens, guys, there's other brands and products out there that say, you know, we'll give you a full functioning oven up top, but then we'll dumb down the one down below and it'll just kind of be an okay oven. In this series, we didn't do that. Top oven, bottom oven, full functioning. All right, so when we look at how these line up with other brands on pricing and everything, let's remember that we didn't make you one great oven and give you a subpar one down below. We made you two great ovens, so everything comes out the same. When we look inside these guys, once again, we'll take a look at the finishes in there and remind you that they're the same. So I won't try to bounce back and forth too much, make you guys car sick again. So we'll see which one's going to shoot better. I think maybe this one. All right. Except that's not going to work. Let's go up top. Sorry, guys. All right. I'm going to bring you in close again there. And excuse the glare. Are we looking okay there, Corwin or Courtney? Yeah, thank you. So guys, when we look at the interior of these ovens, you can see right away, and I just blinded myself looking at it, we've got a tower halogen light there that shines broadly across the whole interior of the oven. And guys, the interior of these ovens are 5 cubic feet each. 5 cubic feet. It's really an important number because don't our customers always say, well, how much can it hold? You know what? The most important thing about that cubic feet is how we install our racking system to actually maximize it. If you think of this rack here, what if this is as low as I could put a rack and there was nothing down below it and I had 5 cubic feet? Well, I can't even use all 5 cubic feet. So we started very simple with this and said, large oven, let's make sure this bottom rack sits as close down to the bake element as possible. So we actually utilize every bit of cubic feet in there. So that's really important to me as a chef. Like, cubic feet, great. Can I use it? Yes, you can. Now, that bottom rack is going to be standard, so it sits really nice and flush. You're going to get another standard rack as well, but then we also give you that full extension ball bearing rack in there. And guys, I mean, literally with the push of a finger, you pull that in and out. And Joe, you got a question? All right, so that rack, got it. So that rack, you guys, you've seen this similar racking system in our past Monogram ovens. You guys know we are so proud of this racking system, the ball bearings, the graphite lubricants. But with this series, we beefed up the ball bearings a little bit more, made them a little bit easier to pull out even 8 to 10 years down the road. We kept that same kind of porcelain finish on the racking system, but we decreased the actual size. So I think they were probably used to be about 1.5 inches, and these are about closer to 1 inch on the thickness. And these are all fully adjustable. They don't come in these positions and you have to live with them. They're fully adjustable in about 1 inch, 1.5 inch increments on there. Now, the special part about these racks here is the porcelain coating. Just like the bottom of the oven is that black finish, the interior here, the back of the oven, all black matches that, because that finish cleans very easy on self-clean. And the fact that we put these racks in here, we don't want you to take them out for self-cleaning. We want cleaning to be easier for our luxury customer. We want the ownership side to be just push button, let the oven clean itself, and you go play golf, basketball, horseshoes, whatever we do. But the racks here, they are made for high temp, and they will burn off and look perfectly clean. Little do we know, anything that is stainless steel racking in any oven is rated to come out of the oven for self-clean. So we go a little bit further at Monogram and leave the racks in there. We hide the bake element down below, not because it's tiny, because it's huge and it's ugly, and we don't want to see that. We don't want things to burn onto it. So we hide that bake element below that tray so we can clean it perfectly. Now up top, you're gonna have another big broil element. This is like a dual stage broiler, so you actually get multiple kind of zones, allowing us to go to high broil, low broil, crisp. But the fact that it covers the whole top of the oven allows our customers to broil anything that they normally do, but do it better and do it more even as well. On the back of the oven there, you can see we've got some, maybe you can see a fan back there, and that's our convection fan. And if you can't see it, it's not just a fan in the back with like holes kind of punched around here. We have holes all the way around it, and then we actually have little slots or louvers where air blows out of the whole back of the oven to cover our convection cooking, which makes it more even, definitely, and on some recipes a little bit quicker. Now, you've all heard about convection cooking, and I'm not here to bore you with that because Monogram doesn't do anything that's really boring. So what I'm going to tell you is how we increased our convection system, how we use it different, how we've created modes around it. And we'll get into that in a little bit, because I know a lot of us know that that fan there is wrapped with a heating element and it throws out hot air. And as it throws out hot air, it also mixes the air that comes up from the bake element or down from the broil element, circulates it and makes it nice and even. So when my cookies come out, I go, wow, I did that. I take all the credit, but it was really the Monogram oven that did it for me. So we'll cover more on that convection cooking when we go up top and look at all the different modes. Now, interior of this oven, we've got a couple of things you can't see. And we're all used to that self-cleaning like I talked about, where we can adjust ours, you know, in variable different times. I think it's down to 2 hours or 2.5, all the way up to 4 hours. And we're gonna clean it 700, 800 degrees in there. Well, that's all fine and well in Chicago in the middle of winter to have your oven nice and hot and toasty. It looks great. But now it's summertime, we got the windows open, we're not even turning on our oven, but it needs a little clean. This pan is actually gently sloped to the center of the oven, where I can take a cup of water and dump it in there, and we have a gentle steam clean feature. So in 20, 25 minutes, I could steam clean something out of the bottom, or maybe you have somebody that comes and helps you out once a month around the house, and you run a steam cycle, and then they can come and just wipe out the oven in 10, 15 minutes, back to brand new. I would love that for when mother-in-law, father-in-law, anybody that is gonna judge my kitchen and everything else comes over. I wanna just polish it up real quick. Now, After that, guys, we've got a couple other things in here, and we've got a few accessories that come with the oven. Of course, temperature probe. Love this guy. Not dishwasher safe, guys. Let's not put this through the dishwasher, just soap and water on this. A lot of folks ruin this if they put it through the dishwasher. A lot of folks just throw this away because they have no idea what it's for. But what we've done is keep this in our new minimalist and statement collection. But we took the receptacle here where it plugs in. Instead of sitting flush against the corner or flush against the corner of the oven, we just inverted it a little bit. So when I plug this in, just like a headphone jack, plug that in. Now I don't burn my fingers on anything around it. It gives me a little bit more play. I've had some that are tiny where you really have to get in there, and if the oven's 400 degrees, it's not very user-friendly. And you know, one thing I've learned at Monogram is not only do we make everything beautiful, but it must perform well too. So that's just one little creature comfort that we put in there. Temperature probes, I love these guys. I'll show you how we use this in a different way in our new minimalist and statement series in just a bit, because it used to be this was kind of like standalone. You plugged it in, you set 165 degrees on the control panel, and when the chicken's ready, you get an audible alarm. We're doing more. We're taking it further. So we'll talk about that in just a bit. The other little accessory here, it goes along with another mode that we have. And this plastic piece is our dehydration kit, part of our dehydration. So this is just going to allow the oven to stay open during dehydration mode so that we can just vent. So right now, all of the moisture can come out. So those are only two little accessory kits there, guys. Love these things though. We'll talk about dehydration more in just a bit. Now, guys, before I get into any of the cooking modes and some of the cleaning and the real fun stuff, actually, you know, the pretty stuff is great. Let's see how this thing really performs. You know, materials, yeah, great. Let's perform. So go ahead. Is there any questions out there, Courtney or Corwin or Alex, anybody?
Chef John, did have a question. Ooh, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was related to the steam clean, and someone was asking if that would cause any rusting. So can you speak to that?
Yeah, I can speak to that, and I can speak. You know, I don't have a corporate answer on this, so I'll ask forgiveness instead of permission. And but I know our manufacturing team. I know our engineers. I know Monogram pretty much from the nuts and bolts all the way to the people. And I know we would not put together something with a steam clean feature in there, any feature, if it degraded the quality and the longevity of our oven. That's not what we're about. We do everything very well, but we don't do it just to cut corners. So I'm sure it's going to be fine. The oven series that I've been working on for the past gotta be 3 years maybe now, just before this, had steam clean in it as well, and no rusting, no.
Awesome, thank you. Mm-hmm. And then someone just asked about the different widths, why can't I say that, that these ovens are offered in.
Yeah, sure. So 27 and 30-inch widths right now. And those are both available in single and double sizes, statement or minimalist.
Great, thanks. I think that's all the questions we have right now.
Awesome, cool. Well, we'll go ahead and get inside the oven here and take a little look around. We can spend quite some time doing this. I think from the last series of wall oven, maybe if I did a cooking demonstration on that, take me 30, 35 minutes to get through everything, make a little meal and talk about it. I think with the new series, I'm gonna have to have people stay overnight. They're gonna need a nap in between the courses of the new statement and minimalist wall ovens here. Now, I think I'm gonna try to keep that closed, and we might be able to come closer here, walk right up. All right, so I'm going to talk you guys through this. I don't know if I can quite get close enough for you to see it. Can anybody even read that out there? No?
It's a little blurry, but I think we get the idea.
Okay, we'll go further away then, and I'll just show you a little easier here. So 7-inch LCD screen, guys. This is the motherboard that controls the whole functionality of our wall oven. Everything hides inside here. You know, we have a few customers that say, so you went away from any knobs. You know, I kind of like the knobs. They just always had that. It's like when we went, you know, flushing our cars and you don't have the tuner anymore. It just feels different. But the idea of going away from those knobs gives us more versatility. It allows us to have endless presets in here that we can then reprogram, add recipes to, add cooking modes, so many things that are way above my pay grade. But the fact that if you have a knob on there that has 10 settings, I mean, we are stuck to 10 different things we can do with that knob. Now with the computer board, we can take it even further and we can access all of our different cooking or heating elements in different ways. So right now I have a demo mode here. So it says touch to explore. Right away, the control panel comes up. It says upper on the top, lower on the bottom. So you can select your oven there. We've got some other little features here. Here's my light. So now I can turn my light on even if my oven isn't on. I like that because some ovens just shut the lights off even if it's not on. I like to leave the light on because then I go, oh yeah, I still want to eat that prime rib in there, right? It reminds me something's going on. So we can access that very easily. We've got our little timer setting here. So you can access your kitchen timer just to use for letting the bread rise or mixing something. Very easy to navigate there. We also have some settings here. You know what? We're not going to mess with the settings today. Okay, let's do it. What's the worst that can happen? I've got another oven right behind me. So you've got your Wi-Fi remote enabled. That's where we're going to start dialing into some different apps and how we can use connectivity with this. And I'll share some more about that. Your Bluetooth, this is all brand new setup stuff right out of the box. A lot of time your installer is going to do this. And then of course, set your clock. We'll exit out of there. And then the other little button here is like a little padlock. That's your control lock. Lock out the kids, lock out the wife if she doesn't need to be making cookies, lock out the husband if he doesn't need to be making cookies. So you have all different kinds of options there for that. So we like that. When you decide which oven to cook in, remember, hey, maybe you're taller. The upper oven works great for you. Maybe you're vertical challenged, so the lower oven works a little better for you. Whichever one you pick, same functionality. I'm gonna go upper because I'm a little taller. Now guys, this all reads different than we've seen at Monogram in the past, really. We have different terminology in there, way more user-intuitive layout. So I'll walk you through that. You guys know what standard bake is. That's where we're gonna just use that huge bottom bake element. I always say standard bake. I use that for nostalgia purposes. I use convection for everything. Nostalgia because I have my grandma's coconut thumbprint cookies and she didn't have convection, so I'm not gonna use it either, right? So standard bake just allows us to cook where the heat is gonna rise and hopefully fall evenly. Now, the other reasons we would use standard bake for is, well, what if you've always used standard bake and you love your recipes on standard bake? I'm not trying to change that about you, so keep it on standard bake. Back to exploring our oven here. After you select the bake, all you have is the option to set your heat. When we go to the next setting there, we have broil. Broil high, broil low. We can select that, high, sure. And it'll start off for us if we were in live mode. So we get a little bit of flexibility, not only to adjust the oven racking system, but also adjust the actual heat of the broiler. Back to our upper oven. We also have convection. Now, you guys are really familiar with convection. This is one I'm going to spend some time with you guys talking about some new modes in here. And of course, convection bake. It's pretty popular around the luxury market. And everybody kind of convection bakes. And a lot of folks will say, hey, convection bake 1 rack of cookies or convection bake 3 racks of cookies. It's all the same. We don't believe that at Monogram because we've done something different with that convection fan where it's slotted from the back. So you get that full force of air on convection bake. But we also have jets at the top that shoot down hot air from the top. So when you do 1 rack of cookies, convection bake, you're going to do convection bake single rack. But if you have 3 racks of cookies, you're going to select convection bake multi-rack, because on multi-rack, we shut the top air off. By shutting that top air off, it makes sure that this rack, and this rack all cook evenly. Then with the convection fan in the back, not only does it throw out hot air, but that fan actually reverses itself. So it draws the air back in and then throws it back out again, creating a really turbulent, tumbling environment in there. So all 3 racks of cookies are nice and even and perfectly cooked. So that's pretty cool. So that's one way we do something different with convection versus a lot of the competition. Again, look at them out there. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know most folks are just convection bake 1 rack, convection bake 3 rack. We're all on performance, so we give you more in Monogram. Back to that upper oven. If I hit that convection button again, I also have Convection Roast. Convection Roast is for our big pork roast, our beef roast, and it's just going to add an element of roasting. When I think of roasting, I think of a piece of meat that's caramelized on the top, some garlic, some crunchy bits on there, everything that we strive for and eat first. Well, we're going to achieve that by using the convection fan, but also a little bit of low heat from that broiler to kind of start that caramelization. So it sears while it cooks. So we love that convection roast. I use convection roast for different hors d'oeuvres where I want more caramelization. There's certain pizzas that I want more caramelization on the top, so I want a little more high heat from the top. I use convection roast. One of my absolute favorite modes that I do a ton of cooking on is convection roast. Back to that upper oven again. Convection, look, how many things can there be under convection? Because we also have convection broil instead of standard broil. So I might use that when I'm trying to get that kind of broil caramelization across the top of maybe a pork belly, and then also try to cook it at the same time. So that air circulation by the convection fan makes sure that my pork roast isn't just cooking from the top, it's cooking from everywhere, even on broil. So those are our little convection modes there. We'll go back. And then I can go into, I'm going to skip precision cooking for just a moment, and I'm going to go to more, because yes, we have more. And the other way we get to use this convection fan is to dehydrate, as well as the fun one. Here we go, guys, air fry. Now, air fry has been out there for some time. People have been putting it on countertops, and after 4 or 5 batches of chicken, we're able to feed the family. Really good stuff, low oil. And Monogram said, yeah, we like that. But you know what? We're pretty sure our convection system, our wall ovens are a little bit more engineered than some of these other countertop appliances. So I bet we can do it better. And not only can we do it better, but with a 30-inch oven here, 5 cubic feet, we can do it bigger. Why is air frying so cool? Why is it important? Well, for me, it's important because I'm not trying to cut down on fried foods. I love fried foods, more fat, more butter, more heavy cream. It's what Liddells are built on. We live on these things. But do I really need it all? I need to eat it. I don't need the fat. So the difference of frying chicken in, let's say, 2 to 4 cups of fat, of some kind of fat, and taking it out and letting it rest, you get the same results on air frying by passing hot air from back convection, hot air from our direct air from the top. We're really forcing this down and through the meat or the fried chicken. I can cut that 3 to 4 cups of oil down to about 3 to 4 tablespoons. So again, I like the idea of eating more fatty foods. I just want to cut some of the fats out. So now the capacity of that 30-inch oven gives you basically that whole width of the oven to air fry on. Now, there's all different recipes out there for air frying. You can make, roasted vegetables, chicken wings are my favorite, meatballs are really good in there, garlic bread, pizza, French fries. You guys know the things that you will do. I think we all have probably a list of about 10 that, we would stick to. But you can do more capacity. And I understand that a lot of these foods require some different temperatures too. So as I go to air fry, and guys, remember, capacity was important to us. So we didn't just put this feature in your upper oven, we put it in the lower oven too. So air fry for the whole neighborhood if you want. All right, so back to upper oven.
Sorry to interrupt. Am I sounding okay?
Yeah.
It's echoing up here. So someone's asking, is there an actual air fried mode? And can you repeat what the air fried mode is called?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to start from the beginning. And the answer to that is yes, we have an air fry mode. It's called air fry. So when we go to the oven settings, I can go to more. And it says the first one is air fry. And then we get into the temperatures, and you can see how I can swipe those temperatures really cool like that. So, you know, sometimes I fry things at higher temperatures. Sometimes I want more of a char or a crisp on it. So why not do that in our air fry too? So I can go down to 300 degrees where you might just be making like a little beet chip or something that doesn't need a whole lot of high heat, or you can go all the way up to 500 degrees. And air fry, you know, that really hearty chicken or French fries or sweet potatoes, even at that temperature would be fine. But most things you're going to find are going to live in that 350 to 400 degree range. So when we're in the control panel, we just go to air fry. We select our temperature. And you select your cook time. And you go to start. So that's it. Now what's happening is probably, and I'll have to check with the engineers on the force of this, if we're asking our convection fans to push harder from the back and harder from the top to accomplish that, or if they were kind of geared just to do that anyways. Did that answer all of that, Alex?
Yeah, because you're going to talk shortly on how air fry exactly works and stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it's that convection system is how air fry works. Forcing that air around, drying out, crisping that product, rendering the fats, and really creating that caramelization. But we're creating it in a light way. We're usually caramelization, if my hand is the pan here, you put a steak down in there, the steak is sitting in the fat. It's taking a bath in the fat, and then you turn it and it's bathing the other side, and we get caramelization. You need a lot of fat to do that. Where cauliflower is sitting on a rack here, the air is going to pass through it so intensely and so rapidly that we don't need as much fat. We're going to still get the crisp and the caramelization. So it's air assisted and just cuts the fat down by incredible amounts, but also cooks very quickly too. So
Hey,
I'll be
Chef,
sharing with you a lot of recipes. Yep.
is there a particular type of pan that you use for air frying?
You know, I would use, I believe we're suggesting just the roasting pan that comes with this. And it has an actual like cookie pan and a roasting rack. So still fats could fall down through, drip down through, and get good airflow with that. So I'm going to be comfortable with that. I know there are some other options. I'm sure there's some aftermarket options that might work too. If you just want more in your arsenal, I can let you know what I use in the future.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. So that's a little bit about air frying. Again, I'm super excited to use that because in Monogram, I know a lot of our customers are just so health conscious, so oil, fat conscious, and we want to spend more time eating healthy on our Monogram. Back to the upper oven here. If I go to more again, you're going to see dehydrate. Now, dehydration is making beef jerky, making beet chips. Oh man, like all of those extra tomatoes you'll have in your garden in a few months, dehydrate those little grape tomatoes and they're like candy. My wife loves those things. So we dehydrate. I make deer jerky, I've made duck jerky. You guys know all the different things out there. But when we hit dehydrate, again, we'll use that little kit. And that kit is just a stopper to keep the door vented so all the moisture escapes. And again, we're going to use that convection fan and maybe on some of our higher temperatures a little bit of the bake element. But the convection fan is going to circulate air through the beef and the veggies and the fruits and the nuts and all those fun things and let the moisture escape through the top. Now, everything we dehydrate has different temperatures to it. And everybody that dehydrates has a different idea of why they're dehydrating. There's something called the raw diet, where food is not subjected to, I think it's anything hotter than 100 and like 109 degrees. So we've got 105, 110 degree setting on here. If I make beef jerky at 110 degrees and my beef jerky is this thick, it's going to take me probably like 4 or 5 days to dry it out. It has more moisture. It needs to evaporate more. So I would go a little higher on that. Most raw food folks probably don't eat beef jerky anyways. So that's okay, but they can do their beef chips and everything at the proper temperature. So we can go as low as 105 or as high as I believe 225. And 225 is pretty high. I'm going to have to do some research and see what I can find that I dehydrate at 225. But if there is one, I'm going to be happy because I get to try that too. So that's dehydration. Again, the things we like to dehydrate on, that same roasting rack. But dehydration, you might look at maybe an aftermarket kit. I'm not sure if we're going to be offering one in our accessories or not, because that's more of like a mesh grate that sits on top of a roasting rack and really lets a lot of airflow and moisture, because if things dehydrate for 36 hours, you do not want them sitting in their own juices and everything and developing those nice bacteria. All right, back to the oven here. In the more setting again, we have a couple other things. Proofing. Proofing is for bread baking. I love bread baking. And now with Monogram, basically we've created the warmest place in your house to set that bread and let it double in size, let the yeast develop. So this now controls that around 90, 95 degrees in there somewhere. Then we also have the warm setting here. And, you know, it's nice to be able to use either one of your ovens as a warmer, because if I had 5 people over or a family of 5, you could have 5 plates wrapped up in here, kitchen's all cleaned up, and little Johnny comes home from soccer, grabs his plate, little Alex comes home from dance and grabs her plate, you know, husband, wife walk in, and everything's just warm and kept great. Or holidays, entertaining, whole trays of mashed potatoes, vegetables, prime rib in there, just keeping nice and warm. Now back to the oven here. I think I covered everything under the more setting. Self-clean, steam clean. Yeah, we already got through that. So you guys are experts there. Let's go to precision cooking. Now, precision cooking is one of our newer modes, our newest modes, it actually is. And this is where we're connecting to a database of recipes to create perfectly cooked meals. And when I say perfectly cooked meals, we have done the research. We know how the oven needs to be set up. When we do this in our test kitchen, and I think I was told a month ago that we had quadrupled the size of our test kitchen. Still waiting for my invitation, guys. But in our test kitchen, they develop all of these recipes so that, like, when you hit, let's say potatoes, or say baked goods, even better. Let's try that again. So if we go precision cooking, remind me later. All right, so it's telling me that this oven right now is not connected to the Wi-Fi. So I'm not able to access all of these built-in recipes right now. But when I do access some of them, what will happen is the oven is gonna take over. And it's gonna do things that I can't do manually myself. So when we select that precision cooking and go to meats, it will bring up a meat section that then allows me to, it'll say rare, medium rare. You know what I think I'm doing? I'm gonna slide over here. I'm pretty sure I was looking at this earlier, and I think it was this oven that might be connected. So if I touch that guy there, upper oven, precision cooking, meat, yes, I did it. Okay, see, we can learn together a little bit. Beef tenderloin, whole chicken, chicken wings. If I went to beef tenderloin, rare, medium rare, all of the temperatures, let's go medium rare. Then it says recommended cookware, broil or roasting pan uncovered, recommended rack position, 3rd extension from the bottom. Great, then we'll go to next. Then we'll go to next, and it says, for optimal results, insert the probe into the thickest part of the meat. Food will be ready when the probe reaches 130 degrees. Then all we got to do, plug that probe in, stick it into the meat, hit next. It even is so smart because it knows I didn't put the probe in. We hit OK, probe's inserted. And now the oven is going to take over, and it's going to do things that we're not able to control. So we can get different fan speeds. We can get different bottom heat, different top heat. So it gives us that perfect recipe. When we're connected through our appliance app, we can also access more recipes and do other things that are going to be uploaded at different times. I believe this app will be connected with our Init app, where recipes are going to be uploaded from a company we're working with, as well as our test kitchen, where you can be able to select the recipes on the app, basically upload them to your smart oven, and now your oven has more of what you need in there. So when it comes to the smart home, guys, we have quite a bit of connectability and connectivity to our ovens on this series, where I can preheat them remotely. I can turn them on and off remotely. I can watch and adjust my temperature probe from the app. Like I said, I can send recipes, upload new recipes. We're building that kind of community for our users, because our owners, I should say, our owners cook. Our owners love the beauty, but they also cook. And sometimes they don't cook fresh. Sometimes we're in a hurry and need things quickly. So we also have a part of the app where you can scan the barcode on a frozen pizza, and then the app will upload the information to your oven, and you just pop the pizza in, and away it goes. So you can do things even quicker, even more. So I said the preheat on there. There's some other functionality coming to that app in the future, but right now I think we're in a really good place with it. As all of our appliances become connected, I think we learn quickly what the next generation needs, what the next generation will be, and what's perfect about this one. And right now we're getting really close. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. Guys, any other questions out there right now?
Yeah, John, when in convection bake mode, what's the highest temperature the oven can go up to?
Yeah. Hold on, let me plug my computer in here before I lose everyone. It's hard when you're on a cart to stay plugged in. So the highest temperature that we can go, I believe, is still going to be 550 degrees. Okay. Yeah, 550. And I'm sure that has something to do with regulations and codes and all of that. So 550 lets me do like the craziest beef tenderloin recipe that is written out there. 550 allows me to make put a nice pizza stone in there and make pizzas on it if you don't have one of our hearth ovens, of course. So yeah, it gives me everything I need.
Great. And then a quick question. I know you haven't cooked yet in there on the air fry mode, but what are you looking forward to trying in air fry?
Oh my gosh. I think right away, French fries. So like I said, I like fats, and I am a chef, and guys, listen, I don't cut my own French fries every night when I make fries at home, okay? So they come out of the freezer like the rest of us. And there's nothing wrong with that. I enjoy most of them, but sometimes I think they're just lacking and they need a little fat. They need a little bit more crispness and uniformity. You get the soggy one, you get the one that, is like pencil crunchy. So I think the uniformity and my fries for sure. Also, I have a chicken wing recipe that is laborious. I basically fry them in coconut oil after they've been brined, and then I pat them dry, and then I finish them in the oven to get all that extra oil out. I'm really hoping to make my chicken wings easier. Anything else?
No, I think that's all we have.
I know some of the things that at least one or two of my colleagues will be excited about is probably like some of those beet chips, whether we find that it's best to air fry or dehydrate them. And some of those, I'm curious on the dehydrate. It's just a great way for me to use up some of the uneaten fruit that we can't get through right away. So I think the balance between dehydrate and air fry might do a lot for our nutrition around here.
John.
Yeah, Joe.
On the Airfryer mode itself, is it currently in all of the Monogram ovens, or is it coming after a certain timeline?
Great question. So right now, it's going to be in our statement and minimalist 30. And does it come in the, I'm sorry, does it come in the 27 as well? I don't think so. Okay. It doesn't come in the 27. It will come in the statement French door, I believe, because that has the same convection system in there. And right now it is not in our statement pro range either. In the future, I would anticipate as all of those new platforms roll out in the future, that all of them will start with this as the base. And then we will build off of that and give you even more.
Well, so I'm kind of getting real technical here. So
that's okay.
Would there be a designation in the model number or the serial number that says from here forward it's going to have air fry and so forth? Is it going to be that detail, or how do we know? How can we be sure when a client comes in the showroom and says, I want air fry, that we're going to be able to sell them air fry and not find out later that, oops, we gave them an old one which does not have air fry?
Right now, in the statement and minimalist collections, air fry only exists in the 30-inch wall oven platform. Be it a double or a single. It doesn't exist anywhere else in the line right now.
Okay, so we just need to know that.
So minimalist and statement, 30-inch singles and doubles have air fry.
Gotcha, okay.
I believe, Joe, the way I'm seeing us, the way these products are coming out and how beautiful and thoughtful they are, I believe after the whole line is rolled out, you won't have to answer that question because it'll all be so feature rich. But I understand the need for clarification right now.
Yeah, well, and then one last part of it. There's no way, for instance, a service guy could come to a customer's home and reprogram or update the controller to get the air fryer. It's just not going to be available like that.
Yeah, the idea is this is our new convection system that allows us to create that air fry. Gotcha. So it has to start with this convection system as the base to be able to air fry in Monogram.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for the question. Well, guys, I'll wait around for some more questions if they're out there. I think I got through just about everything with you guys. I think that I know it's a lot, but I wanted it to be because this oven is a lot. There's features that some people might not use. And those same features other folks are going to just fall in love with. So I think it's important to give you all that information because each one of our current, or should say future owners that you talk to about this product, something's going to grab them. One of these handles is going to grab them. One of these aesthetics is going to grab them. And again, one of those features inside is going to speak to how they put food on the table as well. So from the materials, the performance, and you guys always know on the ownership side, we're always here for you. I think we've really knocked it out of the park with these two units. So thanks again for joining us. Unless there's anything else, I'll kick it back to Courtney, sorry, and I'll sit here silently unless you guys got something for me.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
I think that's all we have, John. You did a great job, and thanks to everyone for joining us today. We hope to see you at another one of our sessions either tomorrow or Thursday.